Hello there. Welcome to Cindy Certified Recipes. I'm all about delicious, time-tested recipes. And today I have an awesome classic muffin recipe that's from way back. But before we get to that, I would sure appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button, and then you can hit that notification bell and you'll get first dibs on all my upcoming videos. Now stay close because we're going to jump on that time machine. Over 40 years ago, my husband's grandmother gave me this recipe for these muffins, and she had written to the Betty Crocker Company quite some time before that because she wanted a recipe for oatmeal muffins, and they actually sent her back this recipe, and I love the 1.5 cent stamp on there. It's really a crack up. I love all that old stuff, and it's such a delicious recipe. I had to share it with you guys. So it requires that you pre-soak the oats an hour. And so this is actually 1 cup of quick oats and 1 cup of buttermilk that I've been letting sit here an hour. I put it together earlier. And so we're going to set that aside and bring in our other bowl for our dry ingredients. And this is going to be 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and this is going to be 1 teaspoon of salt, and this is 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And anytime you have baking soda and baking powder, it's always a good idea to stir these up in advance. I mentioned this a couple times in some of my past recipes, where if you just kind of plop it in there and you don't stir it, I don't think you get the same amount of rise going on. So we're just going to give that a quick little stir. That's good. And we're going to bring back our oats here. And I have here 1 large beaten egg. We're just going to put that in there. And this is 1/2 cup of brown sugar packed. And I got to tell you, I live in a very, very dry environment. And I have bags I haven't even opened that turn to a brick. And so what you want to do is lay that in a paper plate with a damp paper towel over it and zap it in 20-second intervals to make it all renewed again. So we will put that in there. It looks like it needs a little help. There we go. We're going to give that a little stir. As with all muffin recipes, you don't want to overmix, you're just incorporating the ingredients. And I got to get those brown sugar bits there. That's looking good. Now we're going to bring that flour mixture we just did, pour that in, give it a mix. There we go. And then over here I have 1/3 cup of butter that I zapped in the microwave, and then you let it cool, so you don't want to be putting the hot butter into your mixture. Pour that in. Just get that incorporated again. That's looking good. Again, trying not to overmix. And now I'm gonna go get my muffin tray, and we're gonna get that, put it there, and then get in the oven. Back with my big old muffin tin. I like to make big muffins, you guys. And I really like these tulip-shaped muffin liners. But you could easily get a dozen muffins out of this if you use the smaller muffin tin. And I'm just going to start scooping that in there and try to be as even as possible. And as mess-free as possible. All right. I'm just gonna pretty them up a little bit in there. Wipe that off of there. It's always tasty. And now I'm gonna get my toppings for the muffins. I really like to use this Wilton's sparkle sugar on my muffins. And so we're just gonna sprinkle a little of that on there. And then a little bit more of those rolled oats we used. There's how that looks. And that's going to go in a 375-degree oven for approximately 20-25 minutes. And check that with a toothpick. And you want the toothpick not totally clean, just only a few crumbs on there. And then it goes. Our muffins are out of the oven. They smell absolutely heavenly. They look gorgeous. And they got to sit here and cool about 10 minutes or so before I pull them out. And then we are gonna crack them open and take a bite. Our muffins are all cooled down. And in memory of my husband's grandmother, I decided to break out the china that she also gave me. Because this is how she would do it. When company came over, everyone was special. And so the china always got broken out. And so here are these beautiful muffins. They're just fantastic. And what's great about them is you can treat them like a bowl of oatmeal. You can add apples, peaches, pears, put like a granola top or nuts to these. It's like a blank slate that you can just keep adding to these and make them all different ways. So we're gonna open one up here. Look at that, you guys. And now what I like to do is butter. Gotta have butter. Get it off my finger. And then honey's also a good option. But I really like this fruit spread. It's just fruit and pectin. And I get it here locally. If you can find something like that around you, it's definitely a treat. So much better than jam. Take a bite. That's a big bite. These are so good, you guys. And that little crunch of the sugar on top and the oats. It's so delicious, and it goes with just about anything you might want to serve with them. And I made a little pot of tea here. You can have your own little tea party. This is Darjeeling if you want to know. And it's just such an excellent recipe that goes back way back when. And I hope you enjoyed our little trip down memory lane. and into the past. And if you did, I would sure appreciate a tap on that like button. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And we will see you next time on Cindy Certified Recipes. When it's time tested, top-notch ingredients, and the talk of the table, it's Cindy Certified.